this calendar did not last long. I was really planning like all of these videos, and then every time that I came to record, I was like, kind of feel like listening to something else. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, and today we're listening to After the Ordeal, of course from Genesis, off of their album Selling England by the Pound, released in 1973. We are almost through with this album. We're nearing the end. The last song, of course, going to be Isle of Plenty. Also, a quick question for you just before we jump into the song. I've been thinking for a little while, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, or when I'm going to do it, if I do it. But what do you guys think if I had started a Patreon? Would you be interested in like supporting the channel through Patreon? Or is it something like, you don't really want to worry about that? Because yes, it would definitely help me with the channel and with the videos, but I don't really want to I don't want to start one if, there's not really much interest in one or anything like that. I don't want to just kind of toss that in there. But let me know what kind of goals would kind of, motivate you to do it. Because I don't want to be like a pay to request kind of person. I just don't want to, because listen, there are so many songs and albums that I want to go through on my own that it would be hard unless I had like a ton of time to do every single thing that everyone wanted. But, I want the channel and the community to kind of be one. I don't want to divide people either. Anyways, let's get into the song. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me down in the comments down below. Let's do it. This is After the Ordeal by Genesis. just a sweet little instrumental piece after the big old battle of Epping Forest. And I'm guessing, I'm assuming that's what after the ordeal means, after the ordeal of the battle of Epping Forest. Listen, 4-minute instrumental, I liked it. And I think it works better in context with Battle of Epping Forest. But even on its own, I like it. It doesn't have a ton to say, but what it does say is meaningful. This is Hackett's song, okay? From the beautiful intro with Banks and Hackett working together, guitar and piano, building up some nice runs, some beautiful classical guitar. And the music plays very lightly, and then eventually Tony introduces these nice big chords, some nice heavier chords to kind of change the shift and change the dynamic of the music before the drums come in, before the bass comes in, before the full band comes in. But even as it moves into that direction, this is still Hackett's song. From the classical guitar style, switching into this electric sweeping solo that just takes over and swirls around the whole song like a whirlwind. And I think I heard it at the tail end of the song as it was fading out, is I think we get some synthesizers from Banks kind of running in the back alongside of the guitar. It was like, I could barely hear it, but I think it's there. Right there. Now I gotta give it another listen, but I think, you know, they might have been there the whole time in the second half of the song, but they more stood out in the ending. I just wish that there was a little more time for them to kind of build up or at least do a little something more, rather than right at the end with the fade out. Oh no, I can hear it a little bit here. Because it sounds like Banks is playing perhaps like regular piano with one hand, and then a little bit of the synthesizer, perhaps doubling up with Hackett's guitar. I'm not 100% sure. But regardless of all of that, this is a nice, short, compact, but still powerful piece. In 4 minutes, they use half of it, beautiful build-up, nice melodic tones, to build up into this nice, powerful piece of solo Hackett material. This is good. Like I said before though, on its own, structurally, it's very straightforward. There's not a lot going on in it. It's not as progressive as some of the other tracks in the album. But for a piece that I would say is kind of a transitional piece, it does bring it. You know, the solo is fantastic. Banks, fantastic. And as a transitional piece, I actually think this works really well. Because, for example, and I'm just comparing apples and oranges, I could compare this song to perhaps Horizons, Before Supper's Ready. A short little instrumental piece. That one is more solo guitar. This one has everyone coming in eventually. But I feel like they kind of do the same thing, but this one works to a little bit of a greater effect. Horizons was, I don't want to say shoehorned, but it didn't necessarily feel like it transitioned between the two songs correctly. It just kind of felt like its own thing that didn't necessarily shift or fit in the album. I think it sounds good, I just don't know if it quite fit perfectly. This one, at least it feels like it makes sense within the album. It feels just right where it is in the position of the album. Good song. Of course, I would love to know what you guys thought of it. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. Of course, like I said, we have one more song to do after this one. And then, I mean, depending on where we are, if we're at 15K, we can just jump right into the Lamb. If not, we'll play around somewhere else. I mean, they have tons of albums. Maybe we'll do like, I don't know, Calling All Stations or something. Join me on Twitter. Join me in the comments down below. Hope you have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.